Hey team, Sandy from the Paddle School here. In today's video, we got a different style of content where we're going to do a technical analysis of two World Paddle Tour players, Sanchez and Paula Josemaría, and we're going to break down their preparation for the bandeja so you can see how they prepare so well each time for that shot. So to begin with, let's watch this point, and the reason we chose this is because we want to see both players play a bandeja one after the other, and Sanchez is going to hit the first bandeja here from the left side of the court, and then her partner Paula will play the bandeja from the other side. And then what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at how they're hitting that and what they're doing similar to make sure their preparation is good. So first let's look at Ari's bandeja, and what we're going to look at here is from the moment this lob is hit, she's in the ready position here. Yep, you can see both hands are on the racket. She's focused towards the ball, she hasn't turned yet, her eyes are on that ball going up into the air, and then as soon as she realizes it's coming to her, we start this preparation. Now, if you look carefully, the racket and both hands are on that racket. She's actually in a ready position, but turned to the side. And that means that the only difference is that her shoulders are now turned. Her turning her shoulders in the ready position has prepared her for this shot because the racket, you can see, is already halfway back. And let's look how long that stays on the racket. You can see now she's adjusting her feet under the ball, and that left hand is still on the racket all the way back in the bandeja in the take back position. The racket head is almost at full take back, and just see how late she takes that off the racket, and it's right towards the end that happens, and then she goes into her bandeja. And that is something that is really important to understand in your preparation, that you need to take that racket back with the left hand or your non-dominant hand on that racket at that last moment because it turns your shoulders. So let's dive a little bit deeper into Ari's bandeja, and as we mentioned here, it's a different angle, but that left hand has stayed on the racket. Look at that shoulder turn, yeah, great shoulder turn there, pointing to the side there because of that turn from the ready position. And now what we'll see is as this hand leaves the racket, so it's just leaving the racket now, it stays up. And this is crucial because if this hand drops, then the shoulders and the chest will also drop. But here you can see that stays up. Yeah, look how high this left arm goes to keep that chest up because she's getting behind the ball. And not to discount the footwork that has gone into place here to get herself into position. So if we just wind this back, we're going to look at this now, and in that shoulder turn, now let's focus on the feet. And what we can see is here, look at that footwork. She's getting herself into position, a few little steps, a few adjustment steps because she wants to make sure she's in the right position. She's got time, and then she stabilizes her base and pushes up to that ball. And you can see here that right arm has stretched right up. And as she's going into hit, you can see that the ball is here. So as she's going into hit, the left arm is actually dropping because it becomes part of the rotation that she needs to hit that ball. And there you can see she comes down on that ball, she's in a good position, and it allows her to take this backward step towards her net position because she's got distance and she's behind the ball. So now let's look at Paula's. Here you can just see that her racket is coming back and her right hand is on the racket. Now she's left-handed, so that's her non-dominant hand, but again it stays on that racket and it's still on that racket. It's just leaving now and it's above shoulder height, which is really, really important because that is where it leaves the racket and she has that same preparation, that it's nice and early, and it makes her shoulder turn, which we can just see on the corner here, is part of her preparation and part of her take back. So you can see that they both get into good positions here with the shoulders turned, and then afterwards they adjust the feet, and that is a good example of preparing those shoulders before they hit, particularly on the bandeja. This time we can see the full shot as opposed to the previous clip, and you can see she does exactly the same thing, that lob goes up, and you can see she's turning her shoulders and she's still in the ready position, but it means that her racket is side on to the ball, to the body, and so it's also meaning that her preparation is really good. And you can see, look, that right hand again is right on the racket till the shoulders are fully turned in this position to be in a good place to hit that ball. And what, again, she was doing the same as Ari in that racket is turning, but don't discount the feet. And here you can see that as we go through this, there's a small crossover step or cross behind step. She then gets into position, lots of little adjustment steps to make sure she's behind the ball. And when this hand comes away, which it's literally just about to, just there, you can see again, it goes up. And that keeps her shoulders and chest up to make sure she's in a good position to play. The feet are in a good position. She's pushing up through the ball, exactly as Ari was. And now you can see that as that left arm is straight, almost fully straight on that bandeja, the right arm is coming down to create that rotation that you can see through the chest and shoulders. And she comes down through that ball. And again, it means that as she's hit that, she's actually, in this case, decided to stay at the back. I think that would have been the communication from Ari. We obviously don't have the audio at this point, but you can see Ari's moved back, and therefore she's called to her partner, to Paula, that the opponents are close to net. So she hasn't taken that backward step, and actually they're going to rebuild from the back of the court. So to summarize there, we've got 3 main points. The first is, in your ready position, to prepare, turn your shoulders with your non-dominant hand on the racket. That's really important because when you take it back from this ready position, you've actually already got the racket in the right position here as you've already turned. The second is, when you get into position, make sure that your chest and shoulders are up, and to do that, you raise that left arm up to keep your chest and shoulders up. And then the third is, get yourself in a good position with the feet to allow you to come through. And you can see that the rotation with the shoulders and the arm here is allowing them to go through the ball and either come back into the front court position, or in this last case with Paula, they might decide to stay tactically at the back of the court. Put a video up on this side about hitting your bandeja from scratch. Yeah, Bandeja 101, and that's a great place to start if you're new to hitting this particular shot.